You're 19, and on the boat you have one name, Greenhorn. The lowest hand aboard, the one who gets hazed on purpose, because if you break, they need to know now, not at 2 a.m. in a 40-foot sea. You don't earn a wage, you earn a share, a cut of what the boat catches, and as a greenhorn, yours is a partial one, anywhere from 1.5 to 10% of the adjusted gross. A rough season nets you $20,000, a good one, $50,000, for 3 months that try to kill you. You learn the deck at a dead run. You chop bait, coil shots of line, and stack pots, 700-pound steel cages, 60, 100 of them, while the whole boat pitches under you. Your hands swell so bad you can't close them. You puke over the rail and keep working because seasickness isn't a reason to stop. It's Tuesday. And this water is the reason your job is famous. Commercial fishing kills at a rate more than 28 times the national average, and in the old Derby days, the crab fleet ran at 770 deaths per 100,000. They used to say one crab fisherman died every week of the season. One rogue wave, one loose pot, one slick step, and you're in 34-degree water where a strong man has maybe minutes. Then, hauling your first big string, a pot comes up stuffed solid, a chicken full to the lid, and the deck boss actually looks at you. Not bad, Greenhorn. 2 words. You'd run through the rail for 2 more. You're 24. You survived enough seasons that they finally give you a full share, the same cut as the veterans, and now the math gets serious. On a good boat, a full share runs $50,000 and up for a season, and during a hot week of king crab, the top hands have pulled $15,000 a month, occasionally more when the boat's on the crab. You know the deck cold now. You run the block, you throw the hook, you set the pots and read the soak, how long they sit on the bottom before you haul them back stuffed. 18-hour days blur into 20-hour days, blur into a stretch where the captain runs the crew until the quota's caught, because every hour tied to the dock is money bleeding out. You live 27 cents on the dollar. The crew splits its slice, while the boat takes the lion's share, often something like 70% to the vessel, the rest divided among the hands, because the boat owner carries the fuel, the gear, and the risk that eats companies alive. The body signs the receipt. Fingers that won't straighten, a back that clicks. The cold gets into your joints and never fully leaves. And the fear lives in you now. You've seen a man go over. You've felt the boat roll further than it should under a load of iced-up pots. And you know the ocean is keeping a list. Then one black night, the skipper threads the boat through a sea that should have sunk it, sets you back on the crab by dawn, and over the rail he says, "Good hands, stay." You just made the crew for real. You're 30. You're the deck boss now. You run the deck, you run the greenhorns, and every pot, every shot of line, every man's safety on that deck is your call. Your share climbs past the crew's, well into the 60s and 70s of thousands in a strong season, because now the catch partly rides on how you work the deck. You don't get to be scared out loud anymore. You've got a 19-year-old kid who reminds you exactly of you, and you haze him for the same reason they hazed you, because the sea doesn't grade on kindness. You get credit for none of the 1,000 hauls that go clean, and all of the blame the one time, gear parts, and somebody gets hurt. This is where the life on land quietly falls apart. You're gone months at a stretch, you come home wired and unable to sit still in a quiet house, and the money comes in violent lumps that are gone by spring. Fishermen carry some of the hardest family numbers of any trade, and every crew has its ghosts. The buddy lost overboard, the boat that didn't call in, the empty seat at the bar. And you drink. The whole culture does. Hard, between seasons and to sleep during them. And you tell yourself it's under control because you never miss a haul. Then a pot breaks loose in a heavy sea, sliding 700 pounds across a pitching deck straight at the Greenhorn. And you get him clear and dog it down before it takes his legs. The skipper watches from the wheelhouse and keys the mic. "That's my deck, boss." You'll live on that for a season. You're 38. You're in the wheelhouse now. The skipper, the captain, and the money changes shape. A crab boat captain can clear $200,000 in a good year, and the legends of the fleet have grossed over $1 million in a couple of weeks when the crab and the price both come in right. But you don't touch a pot anymore. You carry something heavier, 6 lives on that deck, a multi-million-dollar boat, and every decision about when to run, when to haul, and when to turn back from a fishery that has drowned better men than you. You stare at the barometer and the ice load, and you make the call nobody else can, alone, at 3 a.m. You fight the price, the weather window, the quota clock, the mechanical breakdown 1,000 miles from a shipyard. You wake up doing the owner's math even though you don't own her yet. Fuel at thousands a day, bait, gear, moorage, and a crew who eats what you catch or eats nothing. The body's a ledger 3 decades deep. The knees, the shoulder that dislocates on its own, the hearing half gone from the engine room, the hands that ache in any cold. You've buried friends the ocean took, and you carry every one of them into every weather call you make. Then it comes for you. A rogue sea rolls the boat past the edge in the dark, pot shifting, water on deck, and for 4 minutes it's you and the wheel and every hour of experience you ever earned standing between your crew and the bottom of the bearing. You bring her back up. Everyone lives. And you sit alone in the wheelhouse after, hands shaking, and you finally understand the look every old skipper had. You're 45. You do the thing almost nobody in the fleet manages. You buy your own boat and your own quota. Since rationalization in 2005, you can't just fish. You need IFQ, the individual quota, the legal right to a slice of the catch. And it costs a fortune to buy in. The numbers are staggering. A working crab boat runs $400,000 to $625,000, and the quota to fish it can cost as much or more on top. Crew-size IFQ shares alone trade around $50,000, and a real allocation runs into the millions. You mortgage everything. You sign the personal guarantee. You carry insurance that would choke a small business, because one sinking or one blown engine can end you in a season. Now every risk is yours. The fuel, the crew, the gear, the weather, the price, and a thing no owner before you ever had to fear this much: the ocean itself changing. You're the boss, the banker, the mechanic, and the man who lies awake over a survey report. And then the sea sends the bill. In 2022, for the first time in the fisheries history, Alaska canceled the snow crab season. An estimated 10 billion crabs simply vanished, a 90+% collapse tied to a marine heat wave. And they canceled it again the next year. Your quota, the thing you mortgaged your life for, is suddenly worth a fraction of what you paid, tied to crab that may not come back in your lifetime. You get one good run before it turns. Then a bigger operation offers to take the boat and what's left of the quota off your hands. $2.5 million for everything you built. You stand on the deck that night, diesel and salt and a sky with too many stars, and you do the math out loud to nobody. Then you take it. Your name stays on the hull for a while, then one spring the yard paints it over. You're 56. You drive down to the harbor once in a while and watch the fleet ice up before a run. Some greenhorn down there stacking pots in the dark, and you keep your hands in your pockets. The money came in violent, beautiful lumps. The house is paid, your kids never set foot on a crab deck, and that was the whole point. Your hands won't fully close in the cold. Your shoulder goes out reaching for a cup. You sleep about 4 hours because your body still thinks there's a string to haul before light. But you pulled a living out of the meanest water on Earth. Food off the bottom of the Bering Sea, onto tables in warm rooms that never once thought about the deck it came from. The sea paid like nothing else. The sea took the years, the friends, the body, and in the end, the sea took the crab too. But every season you had, you went back out. That's the trade. That's the bill. That's the crab fisherman's life.